Hey guys, it's Casey and welcome back to the channel. So I've gotten a lot of positive feedback and content from my recent Webull desktop platform video review, and I've gotten a lot of requests to do an updated fresh Webull desktop platform review, in addition to go over a lot of the different market type orders, because there's some confusion about how to do some of the more advanced order types such as stop loss and take profits. So I'm going to be doing that today, going over with you guys just pretty much the overall desktop platform review, how to use it, how to leverage it, and hopefully this is very beneficial to you guys. And yeah, let's just kind of hop into this. So everything is really based on the left hand menu, right? So Webull has made this very easy and very simplistic to understand, but they've also provided a lot of different advanced functionality for a lot of seasoned traders or investors as well. So over here to the left, you'll notice that they've really simplified their menu options. Over to the left, you have watch list, you have your stocks, you have your markets, your screeners, your trade, your accounts, your paper trading. You have some feedback that'll kind of go over till it'll pop up their website, and then you have your settings. So let's just kind of start to the top, look over all the menu items, and then we'll work our way down. Okay, so it defaults to your positions. These are my current positions right now that I'm in: Apple, Crowd, Eric, UBS, HP, Zynga, Snap, and Viacom. You can go over here to the watch list. These are all of the stocks that I'm currently watching. I am super heavy tech. I pretty much only trade tech and the SPY. And then I created this watch list called the bomb watch list for this actual tutorial. And just basically what I did was I just went over to edit watch list. I hit add watch list, typed that in, defaulted to US already, and then I hit OK. And then there's the bomb watch list. So that's that. You can do a grid view if you wanted to show like a lot of different charts for that are going to be in the watch list, but I don't really particularly care about that. If you had simulated holdings in like a paper trading account, it would show that as well, but I don't have anything on the paper trading side, so that's kind of a moot point. But let's say we go over to your positions. You have a position and you highlight it. You'll notice immediately that over to the right you get a lot of information about the stock. You get the price, the after hours. Over here you have the add to watch list, which we already have that added. Alert settings, that you can put alerts in here that if it hits a certain price point, percentage change or volume above or below, which is really cool. You have some additional advanced alert settings as well, so if it starts rising fast, falling slow, above a certain moving average, and so forth, you can get notified for that, which is a very cool thing to see. You also have scheduling as well, so you can do a fixed alert time when you want to be notified and how often. So that's actually a really cool feature. I haven't seen that in a lot of other trading platforms that will alert you when it hits certain different moving averages, so that's kind of awesome. And over here as well, you can put some notes in here as well. So if you can just say something super complex like I love Apple, boom, right? And then you go over to the notes section just as like a reminder. Most people use this when they're trying to use this as like a strategy. So use this as like a strategy for what they want to do for the stock. So if you were like, man, I want to buy Apple when it hits $400, and you may put in here, buy Apple at 400, right? And then you would put like a little alert in there as well. So when you got the alert, you're like, wow, okay, I got alert at 400. Why did I do that? And you go over to your notes section and go, oh yeah, that's right, I wanted to buy at that level. And so that's pretty much it. You get over here also notifications about, you get a notification that this is a real-time quote. It's not a delayed quote. You get the notification of what the marginable requirement is for this particular stock. Keep in mind that all stocks have different margin requirements. So if you guys are using, if you have a margin account, which 99% of the time you should, doesn't mean you should always use it, but your account should be a margin account. This lets you know how much you have to have in reserves when you're using margin. It's basically what that means. All right, so for example, 25% margin, right, maintenance requirement. What that means is that if you have, let's say, $100,000 in Apple, $25,000 of it has to be your money. So they say that you can, trade up to $100,000 for $25,000, but also keep in mind that 4-to-1 margin amount is purely just for intraday. The overnight is going to always be 2-to-1. So if you had 100,000, you could overnight 200,000. But this is just giving you different maintenance requirements amounts if you guys had that. This is also telling you if the stock is shortable, what your leverage that you can use for those are. As you can see, as I switch back and forth, it shows you the different maintenance requirements. Different stocks have different maintenance requirements based on the volatility. So you'll notice CrowdStrike has a much higher maintenance requirement than Apple does. Okay, so this shows the positions. So if I put the unlock, if I put in my PIN number here, and then it would show me my position information so that I can submit orders on this screen. And then over here, this shows you if you have any orders and whatnot. Widget settings. So if you take a look here, you'll also notice that in addition to the Apple, in addition to the kind of like the snapshot price amount, you'll notice that there's additional widgets as well. So it shows you the statistics over here. Gives you the all your buy orders, confirmations, and so forth. So that's kind of a good deal. Alright, that's kind of a good deal. And then you have the ability to be able to go ahead and also add additional things such as your total view, key statistics, time and sales, trade orders, and so forth. So you can decide which items you want to add over here to the widget side. So that's kind of a good thing. Alright, so that's the stock option deal. One of the cool things as well, I wanted to see if it allows you to do it on this screen. Oh, okay, yep, sorry. If it left that part out. If you wanted to submit an order over here on the watch list screen, you can do that by just highlighting that, or you could also just type symbol up here. So let's just say, I don't know, let's just say Tesla. That's not Tesla, that's something else. What is that? That's Tesla. There we go. Right, and then you could just go over here, put an order in, and kind of go from there. So you can do that. You can also do it as well. When you do put in an order, you'll also notice that not only do you have your watch list column over here, but you also have your recently looked up column as well. So if there's stocks that you've been that you've been following, or that you've been watching that have been moving throughout the day, and you wanted to do a quick order, you can do that by just highlighting it and then immediately go over here and submit an order. So that's kind of cool. One of the other really cool things as well that I haven't talked about yet, actually I didn't talk about it yet because I haven't gone to that menu, which was the stock screen. So the stock screen, as I already touched on a few seconds ago, you have your watch list that's immediately over here, right? You have your positions. You have the drop down for your watch list that you've created if you want to create separate ones. Usually you do that if you want to have like a super volatile watch list or a tech watch list, or however you want to separate your watch list based on your trading strategy, or how you want to see based on the stocks that are moving. So you have that, and then you recently looked up and so forth. So the same thing applies. You just highlight a stock, click on it, then all of the key statistics information kind of goes over here to the right. So that's pretty cool. Now from a charting standpoint, right? So I've gotten a lot of questions about charting, and charting is not a complicated thing, but it can be depending on your trading strategy. Me personally, I like to do very, very simplistic trading because I don't think the thing should be overly complicated. It's already difficult enough as it is when you're day trading because you have so many different factors with market conditions, the volatility of the particular stock you're trading, the market conditions of the SPY, your trading pattern, your style, your risk tolerance, your position sizing, and also the indicators that you use, whether they're fundamental, whether they're technical, based on the period of which you're watching the stock. So lots of things. I find that the simplest thing is best. So when it comes to trading, I use three things primarily. Actually, one, I use support and resistance levels, which is pretty obvious. In addition to support and resistance, I use moving averages. I use the 9, 20, 50, 100, 200. And then I use what's called the Fibonacci retracement. And the Fibonacci levels are just pretty much key level indicators that stocks have a high probability of bouncing off of. This works very uncanny for a number of different reasons, but Fibonacci retracements are great. They give you an indication of the price levels that a stock will not only retrace to, but also will usually bounce off of when they're running. And as you can see, I put this on Tesla. I started from the low, went to the high, and it bounced off. It came right down to this first retracement level, and now it looks like it probably wants to do another retest. I did a video a couple days ago on Tesla specifically before that pop happened, actually this day, and I told you that I was expecting a pop of Tesla, if not a retest, at least a kind of a fake retest. but I knew at a minimum we were going to get a pop, and the very next day we got a pop, and then this day here it trapped some longs, but we got that pop I was looking for. So from a technical indicator standpoint, you can do a lot of things. You can do trend lines, so you can go over here, blah blah blah, do your trend lines however you want to do it that way. Okay, you have your vertical, just all sorts of different lines, extended rays, so forth. None of these I use. I use horizontal lines, trend lines, vertical lines if I want to draw some lines, and then Fibonacci retracements and extensions. That's what I use. All right, and you can also do trend channel as well. You can delete all of the trend lines if you want. Not entirely sure what the stand drawing mode means. I think that just basically means that it allows you to whatever indicator you've selected doesn't go away after you've selected one. It stays on it, so you can keep adding additional ones. I believe that's what that is, but I'm going to uncheck that. Magnet mode, not entirely sure what magnet mode is, to be honest. I don't know if it just snaps the technical indicator in place. Not entirely sure. I may have to actually look that one up. I'm not even sure it's a big deal at all. So these are the highly used indicators. RSI, oh I'm sorry, forgive me, I left one out. RSI is very, very big for me as well. So that's the relative strength indicator. That just basically tells you if a stock is pretty much oversold or overbought. Usually that combined with a few other indicators will let you know when a stock is going to probably pull back or reverse. Well, I should say reverse, whether it's pulling back or whether it's, it's reversing, whether it's pulling back or whether it's, going up from down to up, cupping up. So anyhow, it's letting you know when it's going to reverse. So anything over 70 is telling you that it's overbought, and anything over 30 is telling you that it's oversold, that you can see there, right? Boom. So pretty cool indicator. And let's see here, moving averages, exponential moving averages. It's just that one of them is slower than the other. I believe the exponential moving average is a little bit more aggressive than the moving average, but that also means that you're going to be a little earlier with the movement. Bollinger Bands, not really big on Bollinger Bands. The VWAP is actually a very good indicator that a lot of people like to use. The moving average convergence, divergence, I can go into more detail about what they are, but I just wanted to go over with you guys what the frequent indicators are. Different line styles, you can see that here. I won't go into a lot of detail into these just for the sake of time, but you can see that this is the different indicator, different candle indicators that they have. You can do a comparison. So if you wanted to compare the S&P relative to Tesla or whatever stock, you can do that. And it will do a side by side on that if you wanted to do that, but I don't really do it like side by side for the most part, but you can. And then you can go in here to your settings, and you can show extended hours. You can, just lots of settings. You guys can always go ahead and play with this. So again, I'm keeping this short and sweet, but yet still detailed for the sake of time. So, you can just take a look at the different indicators and settings and so forth. And then this is if you want to go to a grid format. So you can choose different stocks, right? So if you wanted to watch different stocks, you can do that. You can do it at different timelines. So I'm just choosing different ones. Tesla, Apple, just different timelines basically is what you have. All right, so that's that. Actually, I like AMD, but I'm going to put Google just because I like looking at Google. There we go. Alright, makes me feel good to look at Google. Alright, so again, same thing, indicators, statistics, all that stuff, so nothing overly fancy. It's the same screen that you would see over here to the watch list. And if you guys aren't already familiar with, you can customize these menus. That's what these are for. So you can do custom indicators on each individual chart, which is really cool. So you're not forced to do the same indicators for each individual chart. So I'm going to go back. Oh yeah, that's right. You can also do a sync. So if you want them all to go in on the same, so if you want to put like Tesla in for all of those different for different what am I saying, for different time patterns, like a day, 15, 5, and hourly, you can do that by doing that over here. Plus syncing all the charts. So that's that. I'm trying to see if I left anything out on this particular one. I don't think so. I did. I'm not sure if I highlighted, but you can obviously extend. You can extend or remove the side menu over to the right so that you don't have to incur, or I should say so that you can get some real estate back. That is the gist of that for the most part. Alright, on to the next one. is the markets. So international markets, you have your menus up here: United States, Hong Kong, global cryptos. Okay, most people are going to stay in the US. Pretty simple stuff here. You have the SPY, you have the Dow, and you have the IXIC. Alright, and over here, net flow, inflow, and advances and decliners, all pretty self-explanatory stuff. It gives you your rankings, gives you your trends, your hot to ETFs. So these are like pretty much just templates, you know, that are letting you know what's moving for the day. So that's kind of a cool thing. You can hit the All tab over here, and it will give you all of the different sectors and what's moving for the day and what isn't. Totally up to you guys if you use it. It's your choice. I don't use it. I've never used it, but it's there, I guess. Hot stocks. This is actually a very cool feature because this lets you know what's moving on the day. So anybody's like, you know, so really trying to day trade per se, or stocks that are moving on the day, you may want to keep an eye on this particular one because this will let you know what's moving, right? Now you may not know why it's moving, but you'll at least know what's hot, what's being traded. So I think that's a really cool thing. ETF markets, again, just more like template-based things, letting you know, which ETFs are moving and which ones aren't. So if you were trying to catch a momentum play, this might be a good pickup here. Funds, forex, and this is letting you know the margin requirements, which is actually a super cool thing. So if you guys are trying to figure out a particular stock and its margin requirements, you would find that here. Kind of cool, right? Same thing applies for the statistics over to the right and so forth. And now, what do we have here? Screener. Okay, so screener is where you would go to actually, self-explanatory. You do screens. So these are some screens that I set this one up here. These were 2 default screens already. So you have the high dividend yield bank stocks. It's just default screens. And then you have high market value US stocks. And then I set up my money making screener. All right, and if you take a look here, what did I choose for this? I don't even think I actually even specified any specific indicators. I think I just chose that as a name to show you guys how to create an indicator. But you can do your own self indicator. You can do the which exchange. You can choose the different types of indicators: market cap, price change, volume, so forth. So all different sorts of things you guys can play around with based on what you want to do. So that's kind of cool. If you obviously click on a stock on one of the indicators, you'll get the highlighted information so that you can go over here. You can do a purchase and a buy, which is a cool thing. And then trade. So from a trade perspective, you can do this, right? So this is like your technical, like active trade screen. So you have the positions, you have the view tails, accounts, so forth. Let's see here. You can do the count to view unlock details. I won't go over that for obvious reasons. But for the stock trade screen, you can do your stock layout to add widgets. All right, widgets, positions, orders, and so forth, or do your stocks, time and sales. You can just do all sorts of stuff here, right? So this is where you can really customize things based on your liking. So kind of cool. Kind of cool. And just to remove things, you just right click and delete them. So right click, delete, 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 and you are all set for that. This is the default normal stock screen. I should say trading screen. So this is where I'm in most of the time when I'm doing trades, just so that I can easily see what's taking place. You can adjust the position size, and then you can also choose a different default trade layouts based on how you want to trade. So that's kind of cool as well. You can also do orders based on the screen. So if you want to right click, do a new order or an advanced order, you can do that as well, which is really cool. Let's see here. What am I missing? You can save your widgets. Yeah, you can save your layout. All right. Do save as. And this is really if you just do any customizations. My custom save. Boom. There you go. So that's that. And paper trading. Everyone wants to know about paper trading. So paper trading is super cool for obvious reasons. This gives you ability to be able to mess around with stocks and ETFs without having to actually gamble your own money or trade your own money. And so if you go over here to the paper trading account, this is how much that I've made this far, my $1 million, which actually kind of sucks. But it's really just because I haven't really used it. But these are my actual real positions. But my paper trading, where's my paper trading accounts? Here we go. No, that's the watch list. That's my actual real positions. Where are my paper trading positions? Oh, you know what? If you go back to, there we go over to the paper account, and then it shows me my positions right here. Boom, there you go. $18,000 on $38,000 market value. So that is that. Very cool. You know, not really a lot to say about the paper trading account. You cannot do options with paper trading. You can do stocks, you can do ETFs, but not options yet. The cool thing about paper trading is that you can still see your actual real positions in your watch list down here, and then you obviously can also paper trade. Well, of course, paper trade, but you can also set up your layout as well of how you want to configure that. So I'm just trying to think here if I've left anything out that I can think of off the top of the head. I don't know that I have. I'm trying to think here. I'm not sure that I left anything out. You know, there's obviously a big disclaimer stating, you know, about the paper trades not real, so don't think that it is. Oh yeah, the order types. I'm going to go over that very briefly just for the sake of time. So you guys obviously know what a buy and a sell order is. Buy and sell order is. That's kind of standard. So you the order types that you have is a market order. A market order is basically where you put in a buy for the best ask price. So when you submit a buy in a market order, what you're doing is that you are telling the market that I want to buy the stock at the best ask price. So when you're buying a stock, typically you have the bids and the ask, right? The bids are the people who want to buy the stock. The ask are the people who want to sell it. And so usually you're trying to get the best price, and so you don't want to always hit the ask price. You don't want to, excuse me, when you hit the market order, you're hitting the ask, but isn't a big deal. It's just so long as you don't care about a few cents slippage, stuff like that. It's really only really big deal if you're like a scalper or something like that. But typically, market order, you put it in, boom, submits immediately. You don't have to think about it. You have a limit order. Limit order is basically when you're a buyer and you're like, okay, so Apple's at, what is it? Apple's at 388. I don't buy 388, but I tell you what, I'll buy it at 387.90. How's that sound? No, not 3,000, 387. There we go. And basically what that means is that I think you hit paper trade and hit submit. That means that as soon as this stock comes down to 387.90, your limit order will be hit. That's what that means. So a limit order is you want to buy the stock when it drops. You want it to execute. Okay. And you also have what's called I'm trying to see here. Yes, you also have what's called. Let me get out of this paper trade account because this isn't indicative of giving you all of the different options. Okay, so let's go over to Apple. All right, let's go over to Apple. Let's put a new order in. Okay, here we go. That's interesting. I didn't notice that the paper trade account didn't allow you to do the other market types. Okay, so we went over the limit, went over the market. You have a stop, right? So if a buy limit is wanting to buy stock, it's cheaper. That is cheaper at the current price. A buy stop is the opposite. So right now, let's say the what is Apple? Apple's at 388, right? So if I put a buy limit in, right, it always has to be lower than the current price. This is typically you put buy limit orders in when you want to buy stock off of a certain price level. So you're like, okay, I want to buy Apple once it pulls back to 386, 385, 380, whatever. You put a limit order in. Right, but if you're like, okay, I want to buy Apple once it pops $400, I want to catch that. I've been looking at Apple and it's going to pop 400, and when it does, it's going to go to 450. So I don't want to sit around waiting all day. I just want to go ahead and put an order in, so when it gets to $400, I'm in automatically. So what you'll do is you'll put a buy stop order in for 401, right? And you spend it on 5 shares. And then what that does is, and I'm obviously not going to put the order in because I don't want to buy Apple at 400. I think Apple's about to roll over and pull back now. But if I did think that it had more left in it, I'd put that order in. And then what would happen is as soon as Apple hit 401, my order is automatically executed. So that's what that is. All right. So now you have stop limit orders. All right. So a stop limit order is when a market order turns to a limit order. That's what that basically is. Let's see here. Now you also have what's called a stop loss and a take profit. So a stop loss order is where you tell the market, I want to buy it, I don't know, let's just say now again you can do a market, a limit, stop, however whatever order you want to put in to get into the market. Keep in mind that these are they're basically two orders in one. There's your initial buy, and then this is your get out. So just look at it this way. Everything above the stop loss order and take profit order is how I want to get into the stock. Everything below this stop loss order and take profit order, these are how I want to get out. Right? So once you've put your how I want to get into the stock, you can put your stop loss order in that basically says what is that? I don't know. I'm getting some advertisements on my phone. So you can put a stop price in here that says, okay, so great, I'm in at 389.63. Cool. If Apple turns around and craps out on me, I'm going to put a stop price in, stop loss, and that's basically what it means, stop loss. Right? I'm upside down, stop my loss. At 380, I'm done. I want out. And then so basically it'll put the order in, this gets hit, cool. You got an order in, and if Apple rolls over your stop loss 380, it gets you out. This says, okay, cool, so I'm in at 389.63, perfect. But you know what? I think I might roll over at 400. So I'm going to put a stop. I'm going to put a take profit order at $400. And what that's going to do is that is going to get you out of the market at $400. It just takes the profit automatically. And like I said, people do that because they want to make sure that they are protecting the loss and that they're taking profits. So that's what that is. All right, and then it even gives you your estimated profit amount. So I bought 5 shares, $389.63. If it goes up to $400, it estimates I'm going to make $51. That is how you do the order types. And then the sell is just the opposite. So guys, that's it. I really hope I've been detailed enough. Hopefully I made the video as short and concise as possible. Again, I tried to give you guys as much information as I possibly could, but in a short and condensed format. Like I said, Webull is a very easy to use platform. I've been using it for years. I think I was one of the first people on the platform. I also want to give you guys a disclaimer as well that I'm not sponsored by Webull at all. They don't pay me. I don't get any additional incentives and nothing like that at all. This is just purely me liking the platform myself. So I just want to put that out there. I'm not being paid or compensated for this. I just use their platform a lot. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you haven't already, please make sure that you guys like the video. Make sure that you subscribe, that you share this with your friends and family. This is a financial education channel. As of late, I've been doing a lot of videos on stock market analysis and also on the stimulus update, because that's what everyone wants to know. That's what I've been getting asked about. So I've been staying up to date on that. But I'm also doing a lot of tutorials as well. I'm going to start getting into that more with the Webull platforms and also a lot of the other stock trading platforms as well, and other financial education tips and tricks and things like that. So thank you for watching the video. Hopefully you guys like it. Hit the thumbs up, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.